Good morning, everyone. My name is Alicia. I'm the artist behind Crystal Sky Art. If you're new here, welcome. Please stay and check out the video. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. Your support means everything to me, and I hope I'm producing videos that you like. Today, we're going to be going back into the world of men writing women. In a couple cases, I think there may even be one in there that was a woman writing a woman that was just as bad as men writing women, honestly. I don't remember for sure. I think I forgot to mark it, but we shall see. This first one here is both a men writing women and a not how women work. She had very few relatives, as her grandparents believed in one-child policy. That was bad news for me. I mean, if I got a chance to tie the knot with Artie, then my dream of producing dozens of babies would be shattered before it could even start. Her gossip continued for another hour. You can stop arrows launched from bows, missiles set off from firing stations, but you cannot stop girls once they start gossip. Despite of her never-ending stories, I wasn't fed up. The reason was I was too engrossed in studying her looks rather than hearing her. "Would you like to have a coffee?" I asked before she could start a new anecdote. "Yeah, sure. But are you any good at preparing it?" "Yeah. Someone here is under the impression that all women do is just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk repeatedly forever." This one is a serious what in the bloody hell did they come up with moment. Imagine a life where you have never been great at anything, never felt the urge to be great at anything, never felt that magnetic admiration to someone who was great at something, wanted to imitate and ultimately defeat him. Just nothing. Literally, all you do in life is exist. Occupy space, pass the time. You're a chick. You're bored, as usual, tweeting about your freaking hair, and not even feeling any kind of happiness from it. Just soothing your constant need to be bitter and crappy and petty towards other women. Every single thing you've done in the past year was mundane, shallow, and boring. You spent the last 6 hours reading kinda interesting Reddit stories about people who made interesting Halloween hats for their kids or some stupid BS that you think is interesting and you may say is interesting, but you're not really sure if it's really interesting. You're just freaking sitting there, gestating, fermenting, with a moist hole between your legs that guarantees you'll at least never have to get up and move around and work to support yourself. And then you see men over in some corner having fun. You've never seen this before. What are they even doing? Instead of their consciousnesses merely sitting in their thick skull and revolving around itself, they are imbuing their conscious energy and intentionality into external objects, crafts, goals, projects. All the bitterness and crappiness you feel non-stop seems to be absent as they congratulate each other for being victorious and happily learn from someone who defeated them. These creatures are truly content to be alive. They have found purpose in a purposeless universe. And your gaze turns back on itself, on yourself, and you realize that you've never had that. You can never have it. You're just a stupid C-word. So you get up, you walk over there, and you freaking ruin everything. Just ruin the whole freaking thing. The 5 seconds of attention you get will be worth destroying it. Because you're a woman. Well, this is definitely an incel that wrote this. I think it's safe to say that this belongs on incel tiers. Not just on men writing women, but on incel tiers, because who else is gonna come up with this kind of crap? Who else knows this little about women that this is what they actually think? And now that we've read a post by incels writing women, let's have something that's targeted at both incels and neckbeards. You have lolly fans. Tell me the truth. I'm ready to hear it. It doesn't matter if she's 18 or 3,000 years old. If you're sexually attracted to the physical appearance of a child, then you're a pedophile. Lolly fans, sad face, crying. Because no matter what, if you are attracted to the physical appearance of children in that way, regardless of age, then yeah, you can fall under that category. Here is a little excerpt from a book titled Larry's Party. Was a ding-dong an event? Was it history? Was it sacred or profane? As a boy, Larry didn't know, and at age 36, he still didn't know. The business of socks holds these questions in its mesh, like sequins or tiny beads. How does a ding-dong taste? He'll never know. All he knows is that his ding-dong is with him forever, doing more or less what a ding-dong is meant to do. It's his to wash and tug at, and dust with talcum powder, and look after and use, and his to witness as it grows old along with the rest of his body. His partner in life, this extension of flesh, so creaturely, blind and blundering, so friendly and willing in its puppyish moods, but which, in the future, he has no doubt about it, will be ready to betray him. Yeah. I really don't know what to say about this one, because, yeah, I don't know. Who the hell came up with this? Seriously. Who came up with this? A male fairy tale. Once upon a time, a prince asked a beautiful princess, "Will you marry me?" The princess said no! And the prince lived happily ever after, and rode motorcycles, and banged skinny, long-legged, big-teated broads, and hunted and fished, and raced cars, and went to naked bars, and dated women half his age, and drank whiskey, beer, and Captain Morgan, and never heard beaching, and never paid child support or alimony, and banged cheerleaders, and kept his house, and guns, and ate spam, and potato chips, and beans, and blew enormous farts, and never got cheated on while he was at work, and all his friends and family thought he was cool as heck, and he had tons of money in the bank, and left the toilet seat up. The end. Okay, after that first line, can you please put some punctuation in here? So it's not just long run-on sentences. But other than that, yeah, no. I'd have to say this is another incel again, isn't it? Who else is gonna come up with this stuff but incels? And you know, if this actually is written by an incel, it's some serious wishful thinking on their part, because, yeah, with their attitudes, that's never gonna happen. And here is the example of how people do not converse with each other. I cleared my throat. Yes, today I'll be talking about the astrophage's Krebs cycle. It's identical to what we find in Earth mitochondria, but with one additional step. Annie held up her hand. "Oh, sorry, one more thing." She turned to Dubois. "Martin, we have about 15 minutes of personal time after this lesson and before our next training exercise. Want to meet up in the bathroom down the hall and have socks?" "I find that agreeable," said Dubois. "Thank you, Dr. Shapiro." "Okay, cool." They both looked at me, ready for their lesson. I waited a few seconds to make sure no more oversharing, but they seemed content. Yeah, never mind, this is not how people converse with each other. Who the hell is going to, in the middle of a lesson, put up their hand to stop the lesson and ask a fellow student, "Hey, you want to go down the hall and have socks in the bathroom?" Like, really? An odd description of someone here. In every room he ever entered, Washington was the tallest man, 6'4" at least, with broad shoulders, the large ass of a horseman, huge hands, large booted feet. His skin was pockmarked. His cold eyes had an odd oriental cast. The eyelids slanting upward, the nose was hawked, long. The taut skin rosy from the sun, the nostrils quivering as if to sniff out the person who would betray him, betray them all. That is a very strange description in some ways. Mainly the large ass of a horseman part. Let's throw in some Archie comics. Jughead and Private Eye. And I'm willing to guess that this is possibly where they got the cringe factor for the Riverdale writing from, is looking at stuff like this as examples. She slithered into my office and the room lit up like fireworks on the 4th. Dropped her breathtaking body into my sleazy guest chair and breathlessly whispered, "I need help." I melted like an ice cube on a hot stove and croaked, "You have it, sugar." "Someone's trying to hurt me," she breathed through those kissably pursed lips. "Not while Charlie I is alive," I snorted disdainfully, drinking in her loveliness like a parched petunia. Whew! Enough already. We authors have to prevent burnout. Man, I can't wait to get my finished tape into the hands of a book publisher. Then on to the movies, mini TV series, who knows how far I can go. And he dropped his recording. Uh-oh, somebody's been recording stuff. Ah, that's Archie's old buddy Jughead the Jerk. For our final one, we are going into a text-based conversation that is not how women work, and men writing women. So, are you curvy? I don't know. You can see my pictures. Yes. Big bobs you have. Wow. Amazing. 2 of my ex-girlfriends, their bobs were small, and I'm not sure why. What do you mean not sure why? Because I think women drink milk a lot to grow their bobs, and I guess 2 of my ex-girlfriends were not drinking it enough, I guess. Maybe it was the wrong food they were eating or something. Oh yeah. Facepalm! Seriously. This is not even the first time I've seen this come up. I don't know why men lately have been thinking that milk helps grow the breast, but it doesn't. Like, come on, guys. Please don't ever think this stuff is true. Because it's not. It's really not. This does remind me of someone that I used to work with, though, back at a grocery store bakery. And she was saying that when she was younger, she actually would eat butter, just straight butter, so that she could so that she can try and get larger hips because she was so skinny. This is at least there, well, if you're gonna be eating butter, you'll gain weight, which will cause that, but you can't target where the weight gain or weight loss is gonna go. Seriously. Drinking milk does not help grow the breasts. It does not. Otherwise, I'd have some. They'd be much bigger. Well, thank you all for stopping by and joining me in the ever so wonderful world of men writing women. We all know this stuff is pure cringe, but it's gold for comedy content. I'll see you all in the next video. I'm still working on the Pampered Chef one, haven't gotten a whole lot done. Lately, I've just kind of been feeling meh, so I've been working on taking past sketches and creating line art on the iPad so that I have some little time lapses for this. I am going to have a couple of unboxings coming up soon that include art, as I have a sketch box and an art snacks, and then those are definitely going to be the last ones for a while of those. But if you like this video, be sure to possibly give it a thumbs up or comment anything down below. Comments really help the algorithm here. And possibly consider subscribing to my channel for more content like this. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!